Still in the middle of seed starting here, guys. So I thought it might be time for a seedling update. We've had lots of growth. Let's start outside. So lots of seedlings out here. The Lizzianthus is meh. It's doing all right. I planted up, I think I took the largest 100 ranunculus yesterday and potted them up. So these trays are mostly empty now. Then we've got some brassicas and onions. These are my snapdragons. This was a second succession of ranunculus and anemones. They're just starting to sprout. Be a few weeks probably before those get planted anywhere. Then we've starting to get a mishmash of flowers. We've got bachelor's buttons, poppies. This is orangium and dianthus and sweet william. I have a bunch of carnations. That's kind of, I think that's foxglove. This is orleia. This is a mishmash tray. We've got some already starting to flower here. This is silene. There's also feverfew and echinacea and a few more orangium in there. This is my gadisha. Then we have sweet peas, one lone larkspur. Had germination troubles with that this year. More sweet peas. Some rudbeckia and stalks, I believe. And then this is also another mishmash tray. This is its first day outside. It's got didiscus and what else? Nigella. These are my agrostemma and Ami. So then we'll check out the winter sow stuff. I won't go over everything, but I had a couple more germinate. We have some Deems Rocket, some tall perennial garden fox, and some scabiosa. So still waiting on the rest of this, but quite a few things are up and growing. Now let's check out the basement. This tray is going outdoors today as well. This is the Bells of Ireland and the snapdragon cuttings that we took. A couple didn't take. You can see they're kind of limp and lifeless, but overwhelmingly the majority did. So that's exciting. Here we have the trays and the shelves here. Quite a bit more room here than maybe the last time I showed you. And that's because some of that cold hardy stuff is outside. So we'll start at the bottom, I guess. So these are things that I just sowed this morning. There's some poppies and the Black Magic Cosmos. None of the other Cosmos, but those ones I only had 5 seeds. So I wanted to get an early start on those and just make sure they were up and growing well. Some Jewel of Opar, some amaranth, and what was, oh, bunny tails. So then we have some things that have sprouted. We've got, oh, look at that. That's my first little nasturtium up. So these 2 trays here are nasturtiums, 4 different kinds. These were a birdhouse gourd seeds that I planted on March 13th, and only one is up so far, and he took forever. And then we have, there's a fungus net. Then we have gomphrena, so they're all just starting to sprout there. I think you can see them. So that's what we've got on the bottom. Then we have those sweet pea cuttings. I think we're gonna try this differently next year. I am losing quite a few of them. They're not rooting as easily as I thought they might. So that's an experiment. We'll talk about it later. Here we've got some, that's parsley in the back, and some celery. I just potted those up, so they're going through a little thing here. We've got some crospedia here. You can see it sticking up. These are my loofahs, which were planted at the same time as that birdhouse gourd. And this is mahogany splendor. Over here, we've got my one eggplant. I only planted one. This is my single seed challenge pepper, my Fidalgo Roxa. He's doing awesome. Couple more ranunculus, or these are anemones, I guess, actually, waiting to sprout. I have some ginger that has sprouted. 2 of the 3 have anyway. And some more ranunculus in the background. So, up here we have a mixed tray. I haven't had great germination with my phlox this year, so this was like a second sowing. My status is doing awesome, and Buplurum's been a little wonky as well. I didn't have any germination on my graffiti Buplurum. The green gold germinated, but I'm losing a lot of those. I think it's actually fungus gnat larvae that are eating the roots, but it is what it is. We've got Cuban oregano, Greek oregano, and Karigami oregano here. We've got some celosia. These were sown not that long ago, maybe a week and a half. Some asters that are starting. Gypsophila, I had really poor germination on that as well. I'm going to try direct sowing some of those, I think. Some scabiosa. So a lot of these things are overgrown and need to get out, but it's just, we're in the process of flipping things and trying to get things planted. So I spent some time in the garden yesterday, like I said, and got some ranunculus planted, and also sowed some spinach seeds, got some of the beds cleaned up. So soon some of this stuff will be going out, but it's too soon for some of it, but for some of it, it will also be going out onto the deck. So I've got a bunch of different phlox here. There's also some rudbeckia, and that's clary sage in the back. This is lobelia that will be going in my baskets and things. We've got a bunch of basil on the go. There's a few different random trays. There's some more over there. This is campanula, and I forget what's in the back there. I can see the tag. Oh, Nicotiana. I think I have the green one. A second succession of stalks. I've got some marigolds started, and, which reminds me, one of the things that I am so excited about that I found out a couple days ago is that I was able to secure a community garden plot. So I'm going to be sowing a lot more things for it than originally. Like, this was going to be all of the marigolds that I sowed, but I need more marigolds now all of a sudden. So it's, I'll tell you more about that, you know, in an upcoming video, but it's, just so you have an idea of size, it's 16 feet by 32 feet, and I'm excited. So, moving on, we've got a bunch of lettuce starts going. There's some more basil. This is another mixed tray, which I don't suggest you do, but this is Baptisia that's finally starting to germinate. We've got a few different kinds of yarrow in the middle here, and then this is rose campion. And then back here we have some straw flowers. Now, the top tray I'll bring down. They're doing good, so I want you to see them up close. Okay, these are my peppers. They're doing awesome. I may have started them a little early. I am pretty guilty for that. I do that every year, but I'm very happy with how they're growing, how they're shaping up here. Nice and healthy, and we're looking good. These are the tomatoes. They're also looking really good right now. And I'm kicking myself because they're pretty much now where I would like them to be when I planted them outdoors. So they're probably 8 inches tall. Some of them are shorter. But they're looking really healthy. And I know from experience they're going to start to decline now. And I'm going to be angry about it in a month and a half when I go to plant them outside and they don't look as good as they do right now. But to combat that, they're just in, you know, short cell trays right now. So I will get them into solo cups or something. I'll remove the lower leaves and they'll probably get planted. I might even take off the first set of leaves here and they'll get planted deep and that'll buy me some more time. But they're looking awesome. Same can be said about our cannabis seedlings. These things grew quicker than I have ever seen. Starting them in the AeroGarden really helped. These were planted in the AeroGarden on March 13th. So today is April 10th. So they're what, maybe 3.5 weeks old. So they're growing like gangbusters. They're definitely going to need to be out of these cups before too long. Like, they're not going to last long in here. And when that happens, I'll try to leave them here as long as I can, because as soon as they get potted up again, they're going to be in larger pots that are going to have to go in and outside every day. And as many plants as I can minimize on the daily shuffle, I will try to. But these are Jared's favorite plants, so these ones I'll have to make sure I take good care of. We've got some eucalyptus here that's looking really good. Our rosemary is also looking really good, except it's getting taken over by the absolutely giant geraniums. They're looking really good. They should be in larger pots. They're in those cell packs as well, and they would be growing even better if I gave them their own space. And now that we have some room cleared up on the shelves, I may up pot them. The only thing is that's going to happen for the tomatoes soon. The tomatoes will take up almost a whole shelf once they're potted up, or at least, 2/3 of it. And all of the warm season stuff still has to be seeded and put down here. So I'm trying to conserve space still, just because I know how much more there is to come. So maybe, as soon as I get the last few cold hardy things kicked out of here, then maybe that will be potting up time. But these are the seedlings we've got going. I'm really happy for the most part with everything. There's a couple failures, like the sweet pea cuttings, and my Lysianthus are not doing as great as I had hoped. I had poor germination on my phlox, but for the most part, everything else is doing really good. And I can't complain about that. So I hope you're in the middle of your seed starting fun and getting things ready out in the garden and enjoying the season. I'm happy that we can finally have some nice weather and get out there and start cleaning things up and actually start planting some things. And I'm looking forward to the last frost, which for us, if I haven't mentioned, is the long weekend in May usually, or the last week in May. So we still got a little ways to go yet. We'll probably do at least one more seedling tour before we get everything finally kicked out. I hope you're having a good weekend. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.